Guys, after Goku and Vegeta break the Namekian barrier Yuhiko, Goku will start the real training to achieve the Super Saiyan God transformation. Will Goku be able to go through Yamoshi's training? And what does Yamoshi want with Goku? Does she like the Saiyan? Let's see how all this goes now. So grab a bucket of popcorn and your soda and come with me. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment on the video. Well, without further ado, let the story begin. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in the village where Yamoshi lived on the planet Namek, it was possible to see that in the arena where the fight between Goku and Vegeta against Yuhiko had taken place, there was a great uproar and a lot of screams coming from the Namekians who had seen that duel. For the Namekians, that had been one of the best spectacles of their lives, because they had seen a combat where two Saiyans had faced Yuhiko and were still alive. And not only that, but these same Saiyans had the power equivalent to the power of the superior gods, like Beerus and Whis. And with that power, the two Saiyans managed to accomplish an impressive feat that was to destroy the barrier that was around Yuhiko, which was a surprise to everyone, including Yamoshi, who managed to realize that Yuhiko's barrier had weakened slightly, and that was something that Yuhiko had done on purpose, and Yamoshi realized this right away. Yamoshi mentally spoke. "You weakened your own barrier, so that they would be able to destroy with that last attack. I thought you didn't want me to train these two. What made you change your mind?" Yamoshi mentally asked Yuhiko, as she felt the mental connection being made between her and her old friend. Yuhiko mentally spoke. "Yes, I weakened my barrier, because I saw that these two Saiyans have great potential. And I didn't want to let that potential aside. And also, if they are trained by you, you won't stay all day on the street hitting on Namekian men who are mostly married. And by the way, these two Saiyans are also married, and as far as I know, they already have children. So control yourself, you stupid perverted monkey." Yuhiko spoke mentally with the Saiyan ancestor, who ended up bringing one of her hands to her head because of shame. Yamoshi mentally spoke. "You know me better than I thought you would, but don't blame me for trying to have a real boyfriend or husband. And they're both Saiyans, and even though I still have feelings for my old crush, I want to live my life, so I'll keep trying to find someone for myself. And if any of those two want to leave their wives to be with me, nobody can blame me. After all, I'm a very beautiful and strong woman, just like a Saiyan should be." Yamoshi mentally spoke to her friend, who ended up sighing, which made the ancestor of the Saiyans give a light laugh. After ending his mental conversation with Yuhiko, Yamoshi began to float, and went to the arena, and in doing so she approached Goku and Vegeta. And when Yamoshi approached the two Saiyans, she took 2 seeds of the gods that were in a bag of leather that was tied around his waist, then put the seeds of the gods in the mouth of each of the Saiyans, who when they felt the seeds of the gods in their mouths, began to chew the seeds, and after swallowing the seeds, the Saiyans had recovered completely. Vegeta said, "These seeds of the gods seem to be different from those on planet Earth. Their effects are the same. In fact, I would say that these seeds of the gods are more potent than those on planet Earth," said the Prince of Saiyans, getting up with some body ache. But thanks to the power of the seeds of the gods, Vegeta was already completely recovered, and the fatigue that was in his body was gone. Yamoshi said, "Congratulations on having managed to break Yuhiko's barrier, something that until the moment only I had managed to do, so congratulations." Yamoshi spoke before jumping on top of Goku and pulling him into a hug, making the Saiyans' face stay between their chests, something that surprised everyone, except Yuhiko, who just sighed. Goku thought, "Yamoshi's breasts seem to be bigger and softer than Chi-Chi's, but the feeling of having them on my face is not so different." The Saiyan thought when remembering the feeling of having his face between his wife's breasts, and at the same time Goku compared the feeling of being among them. After a few seconds, Yamoshi stopped hugging Goku, making him take his face away from her breasts, and in doing so, Goku showed a slightly confused and even innocent expression in a way. After that accident, Goku and Vegeta, along with the rest of the group, went to Yamoshi's house, where the ancestor of the Saiyans said she would train the two Saiyans, but both needed a combat suit like her. Yamoshi then had an idea and said, "Goku and Vegeta, I need your body measurements," said Saiyan Yamoshi. Yuhiko, who had understood Yamoshi's intention, said, "Goku and Vegeta, you can go to the room where the Namekians will take your measurements," said Yuhiko, looking at the Saiyans, and then at Yamoshi. Yamoshi didn't like her friend's idea and interfered, saying, "I'll do that myself, Yuhiko," Yamoshi said with a smile on her face. Yuhiko knew very well that Yamoshi just wanted to take the Saiyans' measurements so she could touch their bodies. Goku didn't mind having his body touched by Yamoshi, and didn't even feel strange when he was touched. But Vegeta, on the other hand, didn't like being touched by his ancestor. Vegeta loved Bulma and wouldn't betray her under any circumstances, and Yamoshi took full advantage of that situation to be able to touch the body of the two Saiyans, until Yuhiko ended up getting in the middle, taking the Saiyan from that place. And then Yuhiko took the body measurements of the Saiyans, but this time it was in a professional way. After several minutes, it was possible to see Goku and Vegeta wearing new combat suits that the Saiyans normally used, at the same time when Yamoshi lived in the planet of the Saiyans. Goku had a white model, and Vegeta had a dark purple model, which in Yamoshi's opinion would match the ultimate technique they used when they were fighting Yuhiko. Goku said, "Aren't those clothes too tight? I can feel that this outfit is very tight on my body, and it could end up hindering my movements when I fight," asked the Saiyan while looking at his costume, and saw that it was super tight on his body. Yamoshi said, "Quite the contrary, my dear Saiyan. These clothes will help you a lot when training, and they're excellent for long training, where you will sweat a lot. And the more you sweat and wet your clothes, with sweat the heavier this clothes will become, which will make training for both of you even more difficult." Yamoshi spoke with a smile on her face, and at the same time with a more serious look. In reality, she had made those clothes for another reason. Yuhiko thought, "Did Yamoshi create those clothes to be useful in her training with the Saiyans? It looks like she even thought about it. Yamoshi made these clothes with the aim of looking at the Saiyans' bodies, and because it's too tight, you can even see the curves of their muscles, and surely Yamoshi did it on purpose." Yuhiko thought as she looked at his childhood friend that even though she didn't show it, she was happy to see that the Saiyans were wearing those costumes that could be considered revealing enough. Yamoshi thought, "I'm going to love training these two Saiyans, especially the one called Son Goku, who seems to be the most innocent. He'll be the easiest to fall for my charms," Yamoshi thought as she looked at Goku and Vegeta, who were warming up in their new training clothes. Yamoshi said, "Now that you two are properly dressed to be trained by me, let's start our training. We'll train in the weather room of the village, where the weather and the gravity inside is greater than out here, and the climate of the thermal sensation can vary suddenly, so you can suffer from extreme cold 1 second, and the next you'll be dying of heat. I guarantee it is very different, and much more difficult than the room of time on the planet where you live." Yamoshi spoke as she warned the two Saiyans about where they would train, which in this case would be the room of time, but that this room was different from the one the two Saiyans knew. Vegeta spoke, "So what are we waiting for to start training? The sooner we start our training, the faster Kakarot and I will be able to return to planet Earth and go after Frieza to put an end to that damn thing once and for all. And now I have the power of a god of destruction. I will destroy Frieza using the power of destruction that I also possess, and that way Frieza will never again be a problem for us or for anyone else," Vegeta said, looking at Yamoshi, who just smiled at him, making the Prince of Saiyans blush slightly, and this made Yamoshi chuckle. Yamoshi said, "I can see that you are very excited, so let's start our training. Before we start, I must say that you are going to go through a real hell on Earth. In fact, I need you to transform into your Super Saiyan God forms and keep it activated throughout our training. And don't leave this transformation, because to become more powerful and manage to evolve your forms from Super Saiyan God to true Super Saiyan God, you'll need to do this. Now let's start our training at once," Yamoshi spoke while looking at the two Saiyans, who had a big smile on their faces. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in the Room of Time on the planet Namek, where Yuhiko was the Elder and Yamoshi the Guardian of the planet, it was possible to see that everyone was living their lives peacefully after witnessing Son Goku and Vegeta's fight against Yuhiko. This fight surprised everyone because in the view of the Namekians, Son Goku and Vegeta had surprising and unbelievable power. The Saiyans had the powers of higher level gods like Beerus and Whis. Now in the view of Beerus and Whis, Yuhiko's power was surprisingly tall. Both knew another Namekian with great power, and his name was Piccolo. But Beerus and Whis did not know how strong a Namekian could be, and Yuhiko managed to show the power level of that race that had extremely great potential. Unlike the Namekians who had seen the fight a few hours ago, years had passed for Goku and Vegeta as they were in the Room of Time, where time passed much faster than in the world outside this room. But even with time passing quickly, none of the two Saiyans got older because that Room of Time had the ability to stop the age of the individuals that were inside it. And because of that, it didn't matter the time that Goku and Vegeta spent inside the Room of Time, neither of them would get older. Yamoshi, during all the years she was training Son Goku and Vegeta inside the Room of Time, the ancestor of the Saiyans trained the two with an iron fist, where several times Yamoshi faced the two Saiyans and humiliated them in the process. Goku and Vegeta never succeeded, nor even touched her or made any kind of scratch on Yamoshi, who took advantage of every occasion to provoke flirting or even touching their bodies. When Yamoshi dodged the Saiyans' attack, she took the opportunity to touch their bodies. Goku began to find strange the actions of Yamoshi. Vegeta ended up feeling ashamed. He even complained to his ancestor that she pretended to be innocent every time Vegeta spoke about it. After several hours on the Namekian planet and several years in the Room of Time, Goku and Vegeta finally left the Room of Time together with Yamoshi, who had a big smile on her face, and she had enjoyed training the two Saiyans in the Room of Time. Yamoshi took as much time as possible to harass the two Saiyans. Most of the time, Goku didn't say anything. When he asked why Yamoshi was doing that, she made up some excuse about being part of the training, and that excuse always worked with Goku. Already with Vegeta, every time Yamoshi was going to attack him, the Prince of Saiyans managed to escape. Yuhiko said, "How was the beginning of the training of these two Saiyans to be able to awaken the power of the perfect Super Saiyan God?" asked the village elder as she looked at Yamoshi, and upon hearing that, Goku and Vegeta widened their eyes and looked at the elder. Goku and Vegeta spoke. "Start of training?" asked both Saiyans, surprised, as at the same time they were scared with the training. After all, if what Goku and Vegeta went through was just the beginning, they didn't even want to know what the rest would be like. Yamoshi said, "It's obvious that what you went through was just the beginning. Did you think that the training you did was the training I did to master the power of Super Saiyan God, and thereby achieve the power of perfect Super Saiyan God? Because if you think so, then you two are sorely mistaken." Yamoshi spoke in an amused tone, as she looked at Goku and Vegeta's disbelieving faces. Goku thought, if this was just the beginning, then the rest of the training will be much more difficult, and even though I enjoy training and fighting, this Yamoshi training will definitely end up killing me, or leaving me very injured, thought the Saiyan, feeling a shiver up his spine when he saw that Yamoshi was looking at him. Beerus said, "It seems that the training had an effect, because I could feel the increase in power of Goku and Vegeta from afar. And I must say that you two must be much stronger now," said the God of Destruction, who arrived, flying to the next place from Whis, who had his usual discreet smile. Whis said, "The bodies of Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta did not get to age, but the hair and beard of the two grew. And not only that, but Vegeta and Goku's training suit is destroyed due to constant training," said the angel when noticing the appearance and state of Goku and Vegeta. Even though Goku and Vegeta had not gotten older, their hair, beard, and mustache ended up growing, and Goku, noticing that, started smoothing his own beard. And not only that, but both Saiyans' training suits were well destroyed, almost revealing their entire body. The main parts were still covered, to Yamoshi's misfortune. Yuiko thought, "That perverted Yamoshi doesn't change ever. It seems that no matter how many centuries Yamoshi lives, she will never change this way of being. In reality, I don't even want Yamoshi to change. I prefer that she keep this perverted personality of hers, because this personality of Yamoshi is much better than the old personality she had. Before being betrayed, Yamoshi was a brutal and merciless Saiyan. And after she discovered the betrayal, Yamoshi was depressed, sad, and guilty for the deaths caused by the man she loved so much in the past. I didn't know any of those personalities, but from what my father said, Yamoshi wasn't very nice at the time," the old woman thought while looking at her childhood friend. The old woman ended up smiling even though she didn't like the way Yamoshi acted. Yuhiko liked having Yamoshi as a best friend. Beerus said, "I think you didn't leave the Room of Time just to fix your clothes, cut your hair, trim your beard, mustache, and eat, did you? I think you must have achieved something in the time you've been training," asked the God of Destruction, already knowing that Goku and Vegeta must have achieved something besides the increase in power. Yamoshi said, "Since the God of Destruction wants to see the progress of you two, then you can transform into the first stage of the perfect Super Saiyan God," said the Saiyan ancestor while looking at Goku and Vegeta, who looked at each other before doing what Yamoshi had asked. Upon receiving permission from Yamoshi, Goku and Vegeta moved away from each other, and then the two Saiyans returned to their base forms. They took a deep breath and concentrated. After a few seconds, Goku and Vegeta transformed back into their Super Saiyan God forms, and with that their energy began to increase rapidly. And with the rise in power of both Saiyans, bolts made of flames began to appear around them. And suddenly, flames came out of Goku and Vegeta's eyes, and their hair remained red, but with some strands in a more orange tone similar to fire. Whis said, "Wow, The power of Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta in this form surpasses even the power of Mr. Goku using Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken. And Master Vegeta using Super Saiyan Blue Revolution, said the angel, surprised to see that new form that Goku and Vegeta were using. This form was much superior to the old power of the Super Saiyan God. Beerus spoke. Just by looking at it, you can see that this transformation is much more powerful than that of the other Super Saiyan God transformation. But isn't this still the perfect form of the last stage of the Super Saiyan God transformation? Asked the God of Destruction while looking at the two Saiyans. Then Beerus looked at Yamoshi. Yamoshi said, No, this one is just the first stage of the perfect Super Saiyan God form. In total, there are 4 stages before reaching the true Super Saiyan God transformation. And this one is just the first stage, so you can expect to see the true power of the perfect Super Saiyan God. Yamoshi spoke slightly proud of the transformation she mastered, and that she was now teaching the two Saiyans to master as well. Vegeta said, This new stage of the Super Saiyan God is really powerful, but I still can't feel Yamoshi's divine power, and that's something very strange, said the Prince of Saiyans while looking at the ancestor of his race. Goku said, True. So far I haven't been able to feel Yamoshi's power either. I thought it was because Vegeta and I weren't in our God forms, but even transformed into Super Saiyan God, we both still couldn't feel Yamoshi's power. Why can't we feel its power when we're already in our divine forms? Asked the Saiyan while looking at Yamoshi that she thought a little before answering. Yamoshi said, You can't feel my power because I'm using this enchanted ring that prevents people from feeling my power. Only Beerus and Whis can feel my power because they have a better domain over ki perception. But relax, you two will learn this in the future. Now let's rest a little before we go back to training, said the ancestor of the Saiyans, who looked at the two Saiyans, who upon hearing that, Goku and Vegeta returned to their base form. With that, we'll end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you another day, guys!